What is going on, guys? We are officially back in the right studio, in the right room. The lights are right. The sound is right. It's not the, ragtag setup I've had to do over the holidays. I am back in the studio and excited to talk about Kansas State with you all. I hope you all had a great holiday season, whether that be Christmas or just getting together with the family. Whatever you ended up doing, I hope it was full of many bright days, including, like the one we're going to talk about today, specifically mentioning one top 2025 prospect, as well as four others that Kansas State is trending for in the class of 2025. We're going to talk about that and more. But before we do, let me remind you, if you like the channel, this is the place to be. That was the dumbest thing I could have said. If you like K-State, this is the place to be. There we go. Second try is the charm. If you're a K-State fan, if you like K-State football, K-State basketball, I talk about it a lot, and I'd appreciate to have you along for the ride. Be sure and consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm sure you saw it in the thumbnail. We're going to talk about the genetic freak, the top prospect, Linkon Cure, a dude who is an absolute dog and is exploding, has already exploded, I should say, through the high school ranks in the class of 2025, and is trending to go to Kansas State alongside a couple other top prospects in the class of 2025. I am so excited to talk to you about the class and more in today's video. But before I do, let me also say this. This video is sponsored by Manhattan Brewing Company. Why drink Manhattan Brewing Company? Because it's the best. And don't you want to be the best this holiday season? I know I do. That's why I'm drinking it, because it tastes the best, looks the best, and is the best overall. Tang Party's my favorite, but there's a lot of great different beers there. Be sure and check out Manhattan Brewing Company on social media, in person, whenever you get the chance to stop through. They'll treat you right over there with some delicious beer. But guys, let's move on to talk some K-State football. I know we're all excited for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I know we're all excited for the future, but let me talk to you about a little bit further future. If we step a little bit further down the road, let me talk to you about some guys in the top 2025 class. Now, I promised we'd talk about Linkon Cure. We're going to do that right now. Linkon Cure, if you haven't heard about him, if you haven't seen him, I don't know what you're doing. This dude is exploding onto the scene in high school athletics, in college athletics. He's got offers from a bunch of different big programs. But this week, multiple dudes, including both KSO's Derek Young and Mason Voth, increased their confidence in the pick for Cure to K-State. And now he is favored at K-State as a 96% favorite to end up in Manhattan. Linkon Cure, the 33rd ranked player in the class of 2025, as well as the second ranked player in the state and the second ranked player at his position. I honestly could be convinced that he's the number one in a couple of different things. He's really, really good. The dude plays AAU basketball. He runs track. He's a 100-meter hurdle guy that's, won the 3A state track title out of Goodland, Kansas. Linkon Cure is a dog of a tight end. And genuinely looking at him now, like, it's early. I know that that's a thing. I know it's early enough that you don't want to put too many unrealistic expectations on a kid. This dude's an NFL player. He's a first, two-round guy. That's the type of dude this guy can be, especially considering the fact that his quarterback is Avery Johnson as well. Like, that pairing is just, that's otherworldly to consider. That is a real possibility, is that Linkon Cure could be lining up, stage right here of Avery Johnson in a couple of different packages. Like, that duo is a first-team All-Big 12 team. That is a first-team All-American level type of player. Both of them in the same spot, like, two dudes who actually have some similarities if you look at it in terms of their childhood, kind of growing up K-State fans, as well as just around the sport. Like, it's really cool to see some of these top guys, not just like, they're not just turning down the other schools. They're not just being like, nah, I'm going to K-State because, whatever, I like them better. They genuinely had the love and passion that we have as fans. But when you're getting, you're getting money tossed at you, you're getting opportunities tossed at you, it is awesome to see the commitment to Kansas State, as well as, like, here's the thing that selfishly we all want to see. Linkon Cure, I want you to score 20 touchdowns as a freshman with Avery Johnson. Let's make it happen, dude. Let's make that happen in Manhattan. That is the perfect reality in my world. However, maybe I'm a little delusional. I don't know, man. This dude is the real deal, and K-State fans need him. Now, I'm not just moving on from Linkon Cure, but I do have some other people we got to talk to as well, because when I was looking through Linkon Cure's page, I started noticing when you look at the class of 2025, Kansas as a whole is taking steps forward at the national level when it comes to top players. And it's not just a fluke thing. It's not just a one class here with 2025 had a bunch of ballers, even though they do have a bunch of ballers, don't get me wrong. The continued top 100, top 50, top 150, 500, whatever you want to say, the top prospects from the state of Kansas are continually growing to get more and more respect in national recruiting services. Andrew Babalola, offensive tackle from Blue Valley Northwest, listed as a 4-star prospect in the class of 2025. And in this database with the On3 industry rankings, he is currently listed as number 1, the 23rd ranked player in the country, the 4th ranked player at his position, and the number 1 player in the state of Kansas. Babalola is the real deal. He's got a ton of people going after him. Obviously not a 96% pick to Kansas State, but has enough pushing him towards Kansas State that it was something that I wanted to mention. When you look at the 4 stars that Kleiman's gotten every single year, it continues to grow. And I know that it's not just about rankings. It's not just about the most stars having the most nationally relevant. Like, You look at a kid like DJ Giddens, who's a 2-star player coming out of Junction. He's now one of the top running backs in the country. It doesn't matter technically, but your starting point typically, is a lot higher when you get to that point. Andrew Babalola, he's the number 1 player in the state of Kansas by this ranking. He's 29% favored to Kansas State, 26% to Nebraska. I know there's going to be a lot of competition for each of these guys, but I'm just wanting to give you a little bit of an update where we're at this moment in time. December 26th, 27th, I think 27th at the moment. You're probably watching this on the 28th, the day of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I will talk to you all about tomorrow, and I'm excited to do so. Next player in the class, this one's kind of interesting because you're going to get some of the tight end stuff with Deshaun Brame, whose dad did play Kansas State football, which is another cool tie-in right there. There is the caveat, understanding that there's 2 top 150 tight ends in the class from the state of Kansas, both favored to K-State. Brame is another dude that's just getting recruited out the wazoo. He deserves it. 6'6" tight end, 225 pounds, super athletic, had 1,400 yards in his senior season with Derby. 38% is favored to Kansas State, 20% to Oklahoma. We're a school that deserves this. Like, I'm not saying it's a fluke to see guys interested in K-State. That's not what I'm trying to say, but Deshaun's dad did play at K-State and has a good relationship with the coaching staff. So there's another reason beyond just there's interest in a local school. There's also the addition of, hey, I've got family ties to this university, and that's a pretty cool thing to see. Moving on to the next guy here, Jaden Woods from Mill Valley. Once again, just want to toss it out there. There are so many awesome players in the state of Kansas, and I don't want to just say that from only a K-State thing. Like, seeing the level of top high school athletes continue to take steps forward in the state that I grew up in, that's just a cool thing all around. So Jaden Woods from Mill Valley, another 4-star kid, 149th nationally, 11th player at his position, as well as the 4th player in the state. 34% leaning towards K-State, 20% to KU. Now, it is early on a lot of these. Juju Marks, another player that comes to mind that's expressed interest in K-State, but is favored to KU right now. And Missouri, we'll see what happens there. This video isn't to say that we're going to land all 4 of these dudes right now. This is all going to happen because I think realistically, like, you're not going to get Linkon Cure and Deshaun Brame. I don't expect that to happen. It could happen. That'd be literally the dirtiest tight end room of all time. Like, that would be nasty to see those dudes line up. Like, that's if you, as a Chiefs fan, I'll use my own statement. That's lining up vintage Tony Gonzalez with, Travis Kelce, prime Travis Kelce. In a college format, that's what that is. That's what a K-State fan looks at this and sees. But getting Linkon Cure, I want to bring this all back to Linkon because he's got ties to Kansas State. He's got family ties to Kansas State. People really care about K-State. He grew up a K-State fan similar to how Avery Johnson did. I know that there's going to be a lot of comments on the video and a lot of thought process saying, well, the big schools will come through with NIL and they'll do this and this and this. I don't think that's just such an easy foregone conclusion. Like, yes, they're going to get money. That's the reality. All these dudes are deserving of top NIL money. What's going to really separate, like, you look at the coaching staffs, guys will always look at the coaching staffs. Auburn, I don't want to dunk on Auburn, but it's the 1% that Lincoln's leaning towards. And I think it's Hugh Freeze. I forget who off the top of my head it is. If not, you're going to look at the coaching staff that's developed top guys into NFL draft picks. Like, they take Felix Anudike-Uzomah, practically unranked kid coming out of high school, and turn him into a first-round draft pick in his hometown state. Like, you look at what's going to get you to the next level you want to go to. That's one thing. You look at the money. You look at the things you care about. But, like, ultimately, when you feel a certain way about a university, you feel a connection. That's something that no amount of money, no amount of this, like, there's always going to be a number. There's always going to be someone bigger than you. There's always going to be something else. Like, Linkon Cure is a kid that I could see committed to Kansas State. I really could. And I really, really hope he does end up teaming up with Avery Johnson because, man, that would be incredible to watch. I mean, that's straight up. That's, you follow up Ben Sennett, Garrett Oakley, Linkon Cure. You look at that, like, that is a great lineup of tight ends as this team continues to take steps forward. On the recruiting front, you're bringing in guys that are capable of being NFL draft picks as tight end. Guys that, like, you look at Ben Sennett, you walked on to Kansas State, you're now a top prospect in the draft, not just because of the coaching staff, not just because of, yourself. Like, it's a collaborative effort, but you put yourself on the map to the point where, like, hey, I'm going to have a successful career for the next decade and a half. Like, that's a real thing I'm going to do. And that's a combination of where you went to college, what you chose, what you stuck to, what you did, what you didn't do. That's incredible to see. Linkon Cure, if you're watching this, I would assume probably not, but maybe so, I don't know. Dude, we love you. We hope you come to K-State. There's a lot of players out there that I think could really fit in well, but the opportunity to go out there and compete with a guy like Avery Johnson, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Yes, you're going to have offers different places. This isn't just to Linkon, but this is for everybody at this point. You're going to have offers to go anywhere in the country. Teams are going to, teams and different people are going to come after you. People are going to want you to commit, but there is one dude like Avery Johnson. That's Avery Johnson. There's going to be guys that can throw the football. There's going to be guys that can be dynamic. This dude is a dude that has a chance to be the next guy in college football. I mean, you look at it, ESPN, Pete Thamel already referred to him like, hey, this is the next face of college football. This is your next electric play. This is your, this is your Heisman guy. This is your future type first-round draft pick type guy. Like, it's exciting to see. But you think about adding multiple dudes, like you had a lineup of Linkon Cure, a lineup of Andrew Babalola out there blocking for him. You get Avery Johnson as a junior. Like, you have guys that are going to be NFL dudes around you at every level of the offense. That's what you want to see. So I'm excited to see what happens. I know there's still a long ways off in a lot of the recruitment processes, but I just wanted to update because that is a huge deal that K-State's in that conversation. They're going after it, and that really is the guy to bring home. I mean, every one of these dudes, I think you should all commit to K-State personally, but I know that the case is going to be, there's going to be a lot of different variables to that. But personally, I wanted to update you guys. I wanted to show you off what's going on the recruiting front. We're still a ways out, but K-State has continued to increase their recruitment, increase NIL, increase different things like that. And I'm excited to see where that takes us in the future, because if you're having conversations with these dudes right now, think about where you're going to get to. Think about the prospects you're going to get to, because you think about it, Linkon Cure is an NFL player. Andrew Babalola is an NFL player. Every kid in this class, top 5, top 6, whatever you want to say, they have a great shot at being NFL dudes. If they go to the right spot, they develop the right way. I know there's things you can't always control, but that's going to do wonders for the team's resume. Hey, I'm Chris Kleiman. I've developed 7 NFL quarterbacks, 10 NFL quarterbacks. This can happen. That's a pitch you can give to recruits. So I don't really know what the call to action is here at the end, but I just want to say, it's exciting. It's a team I love going after people that I really think could be great fits and be successful in Manhattan. So I wanted to bring you guys that video and just kind of update it. I do want to say this. I'm going to have a lot of content over the next couple of days. I've been kind of slacking. The holiday season got me a little bit. I've been chilling a little bit too much. We're going to talk about the Pop-Tarts Bowl, first impressions, what all we see here tomorrow from the game, as well as some recruiting things. I've got a cool video I want to tease real quick. I want to go through and give you my top picks for, positions of need on the offensive, like who I think would be good fits in Manhattan through the transfer portal. I know we have limited spots, but I'm going to break it up into, 2 receivers, 3 receivers, a tight end, a running back, or whatever. And the next day, have a separate video for defense. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. But I know I kind of just rambled for this entire video about how excited I am. But I'll tell you what, guys, that's what I was feeling, and I wanted to do that with you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're as excited as I am. I hope you're having a good day wherever you're at. Now that things are kind of winding down from the holidays, get a big exhale in, get you a nice cold beer from Manhattan Brewing Company, and we'll talk here soon. Go Cats. Good luck in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I cannot wait to watch the debut of Avery Johnson.